Hi, everyone. My name is Dana Gelsomino, and this is episode 16 of the Ask a Question show, the show where you ask a question about any type of narcissistic or otherwise abusive or toxic situation or relationship. And I, along with the rest of the audience here, will do our very best to help answer it, victim to victim. So our goal is to give you the feedback and the support that you need so that you can move forward in getting the clarity, the closure, and the healing that you so deserve. And so tonight's question actually comes from a handful of different people. And the question is, Dear Dana, I'm scared I'm a covert narcissist. Is it possible I'm a narcissist and I just don't know it? So, great question. I think, if you've been going through my red flags of a narcissist series, you're probably seeing some of your behavior in some of those red flags. Let me just say right now, totally normal. Okay. I think anybody really over the age of 25 or 30, if you've left the house at all in your life, you probably have some, crazy stories or, some sort of behavior or situations that could be considered red flags by some other people. Not all of the red flags mean you're a narcissist. Actually, none of the red flags mean you're a narcissist. The red flags are just kind of warning signs. This is how manipulative people work. This can be problematic. So kind of all manipulative people have generally these behaviors, but not every single person that has these behaviors is necessarily manipulative, if that makes sense. Sort of like saying, all cats are mammals, but not all mammals are cats. Does that make sense? So lots of people have some of these red flags, such as, for example, like fragmented relationships. So, not everybody has the best relationship with their siblings or their parents. Doesn't mean they're a narcissist, just means that there's some family dynamic stuff going on there. Or poor financial management. Lots of people have credit card debt or have gone through bankruptcy or foreclosure. Not necessarily a deal breaker. It just means when you're seeing these kinds of behaviors, it's a sign to take a step back, examine the behavior, find out more information, and then kind of proceed with caution. And of course, when you're finding out more information about these people, or just people in general, not just like these people, but people in general, when you're meeting new people, you want to take things slow and you want to make sure that their explanations of things kind of lines up with the rest of the story, because manipulative people, probably like the last person you want to go for clarity is the same manipulative person that's throwing up that red flag, right? So trying to kind of find out through friends and family and just kind of through time, you will eventually find out if the stories line up, and to not gloss over those red flags, to take them seriously, because the red flags are there for, they're for a reason. So don't gloss over them, to treat them with the, kind of the weight that they deserve. And again, we all have behaviors and stuff that can be considered, red flag behavior to some other people. So, again, just does not mean you're a narcissist. It just means that you had some stuff in your past. You might be totally fine, decent, normal human being. So that's kind of that for the red flags. Other than that, could you be a covert narcissist? So let me back up and say, when we are using the word narcissist, we're using it meaning a person who basically lacks empathy. They lack remorse. They, are very selfish. They have a huge attitude of entitlement. They may be very grandiose and kind of full of themselves, but mainly they exploit people. And so it's kind of, those are, minus the grandiosity, the rest of those traits are what's really problematic. People know if they have these traits. So that, if you're manipulative, if you're lying and cheating and stealing, if you exploit other people. So the reason that narcissists tend to not change is because there's no real motivation to change. So most of us, all of us, I think, really, when we get to that place of wanting to change, it's like your pain has to outweigh the pain of changing has to be greater than the pain of staying the same. And so when you're dealing with highly manipulative people, their behavior always works in their best interest, right? They always get what they want. So there really is never, and then they lack empathy, they lack remorse. So they're not sorry about it and they don't care that they're hurting us. So there isn't this recognition of this, that this behavior's not causing them pain. That's kind of why there's no motivation to change. Whereas the rest of us, we get to that place where we're like, you know what, I drink too much and never again, or I need to lose weight and I'm starting tomorrow, or I'm tired of being broke, I need to start a budget. And you kind of, that pain threshold, you reach that tipping point and then your behavior changes. Narcissists don't have that. So if you're a narcissist really wouldn't be scared that they're a narcissist. You might be seeing some problematic behaviors, in the red flag series where you're like, you know what, maybe I do. I actually had a really good email conversation the other day with a gal who was saying, she's like, you know what, I do lie all the time. I really do exploit people and I cheat and I kind of do all these behaviors. And, is there hope for me? And my response to her was, yes, there is, because you seem to want to change and your behavior is abusive. It is problematic if this is what's really going on here. So yes, find a good therapist, maybe somebody that's really good with, cognitive behavioral therapy, and that can really work with you on changing your thoughts and changing your actions. And my whole philosophy is if a person really wants to change and they have a sincere desire to change, they're not just giving lip service so their partner stays with them. But if they're really wanting to change, then yes, they really can change. So, don't panic if these things are scaring you and you don't like the behavior that you have and you're motivated to change it, then yes, I do believe that you can change. It might take time. Change does take time, but it is possible if you really want it. So that's what I got for you. I'll be curious to kind of see what you guys have to say down below. Please leave comments and we'll go from there. So that's it for this episode, and I will talk to you guys later. As always, if you have any questions for the Ask a Question show or any other questions, comments, concerns, frustrations, ideas, insights, you need some support, you just want to say hi, please contact me down below. All the contact info is down there. And as always, lots of love to you guys. You are not alone, and you are not crazy. Please go with your gut instinct. That's why you have it. And you really can move forward in healing and recovering and building an absolutely amazing life. So please pour your energy into making that happen. You deserve it. Okay? So take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.